Hello and welcome to Mission Alive in this Jubilee year of giving and receiving. I told you about the working brothers, Brother Moore, the two brothers that work so good on building buildings and yet playing music, Brother Carroll with his tricks and his work of going round to isolated places to build schools. There were three other people who were also important who really kept the wheels turning. One was Brother Bauer at Hargita, who was the manager there. The other was Brother Cole at Sadia, who was the mission manager. And the other was the brother at Sadia. But there wasn't a brother at Sadia, there was a layman who'd come up to work. Later on, he came back to Australia and became a Carmelite priest. But at this time, he was just Mr. Gregg. So Mr. Gregg had just come and he was pretty new. And he didn't know how difficult it was to get from Hargita to Alotau in the wet season. First of all, you had to get over the river at Hargita because there was no bridge and the Koiloi River was pretty strong and some days you just couldn't get across. I remember once when I went across by bulldozer with my swimming suit on underneath my habit because I was going to Bedoya. And if things got worse, I'd take the habit off and get over. But fortunately, the bulldozer got me over with my clothes dry. And in Alotau was Brother Milne, who was the mission manager. Everybody sent their order in by radio to Brother Cole. Brother Cole got the radio, the goods, told Gregg would send down a boat and the boat would get loaded and take it out. So often Brother Bow would say to Gregg, don't send any timber down for Hargita at the present time because the timber would have to come to Alotau and then the truck would go up and pick it up and bring it down to Hargita for the buildings or whatever it was. Don't send the timber down now, we can't get across the river. Now, for many years, everybody had tried to bridge that river, but there was no way they could do it. It had to be just across the river by truck, through the river. So the river had to be low, the river had to be calm. Then one day, Gregg said, don't you think it's about time somebody did something to bridge that river so that you can take your things across? And of course, just up near Alotau, there was the gravel pit. The gravel pit was another thing where rain came, the river brought down a whole pile of gravel and nobody could get across. Nobody. So there were these two big problems. So Gregg had the bright idea that it was about time somebody did something to get these rivers bridged. Oh, Brother Cole said. Oh, Brother Bauer said, that's a really good idea. They didn't tell Gregg how many efforts had been made to bridge these two rivers. Eventually, of course, they were bridged. Hargita had a special kind of bridge that was a little bit of a swinging bridge, but it was very, very stable, had big wire baskets on each side to hold it steady, and we went across no stopping. Then up at the gravel pit, they put in a cement road with big pipes in the middle to take the gravel through. Sometimes the gravel was so thick it clogged the pipes, and then of course the water went over the aqueduct again and nobody could get across. So it was very difficult getting from Hargita to Alotau and further out from Hargita to Sagarai, and from Sagarai and Waima and Hargita into Alotau until we got these bridges fixed or set up. But Brother Bauer, every morning he did the radio sked, as we called it. He talked to all the stations, and Brother Cole did the same, taking down all their orders from the largest to the smallest thing that they wanted. Sometimes they just wanted a small screwdriver. That went down and it went out. And Gregg at his end took down all the timber orders that the brothers would prepare. That was another job for the handymen brothers, where they had the sawmill down at the end of Sadia. And they'd send the timber down to Hargita, to Alotau, to whoever was needing timber, Gimu or Rossel. So all the time, service to others. In one way, in entertaining, in building, or keeping the engines working, keeping the wheels turning on the land so that everybody could receive what they needed. In some way, we can all be of service to others. Keep your wheels spinning today. Goodbye and God bless.